CAMMUS C5, a wheel that makes a bump ticking sound when turned on, a wheel that many haven't even heard about, and a wheel that just might be the best direct drive wheel you can get for the money. Yes, you heard it right, I said direct drive wheel, with a price tag of $250 makes it the cheapest direct drive wheel option on the market right now. And if you haven't yet heard the direct drive wheel expression, you might ask, why is it so special? Well, direct drive wheel is a wheel that all the sim racing enthusiasts, including me, crave to get. And why is that? Well, the key difference is that the direct drive wheel is operated directly through the servo motor, while the other conventional wheels, such as Logitech wheels, are driven through the gears or belt, so power from the motor is not transmitted directly to the wheel. And as soon as I started playing with the CAMMUS C5, I realized that this is a totally different beast than any of the previous wheels I played with. The amount of torque the wheel is able to produce is insane. I was honestly surprised how strong it was. And that is the key difference between a regular wheel and the CAMMUS C5 direct drive wheel. Because it's directly driven by the motor, it can produce much more force and therefore it's much quicker in turning, which results in being able to catch slides much quicker, being able to quickly anticipate what the wheel will do and do the corrections, and in general give you a better overall driving experience. If we make a step back and look at how the wheel is built, you might ask yourself, where the hell is the motor that is producing all of that force? And astonishingly, the CAMMUS engineers managed to put the motor inside the actual wheel. You don't have a separate wheelbase as with other more traditional direct drive wheels. Because everything is packed nicely into a wheel, it obviously means that the whole wheel is quite heavy, which I quickly realized when unboxing it. And I honestly love the sleek design, it takes less space on your desk and looks cleaner as well. When mentioning the desk, you might consider getting a standalone sim rig for this wheel. Because of the greater forces, it might not be the best to have it mounted on your desk. To give you a perspective, the Logitech G920 makes around 2 Nm of torque, while the CAMMUS C5 makes 5 Nm of torque, so more than 2 times greater force, which is enough to make your desk shake a little bit from time to time, but it's still bearable considering the Fanatec Podium wheelbase with a 20 Nm of torque that manages to create a whole earthquake on your desk. But not just the slim design that caught my eye, also the hand-stitched leather material from which the wheel is made is quite astonishing. It feels so great and smooth, and also a 12 o'clock orange leather stripe makes it stand out a little bit. Also, the center console of the wheel looks really cool, especially with this carbon fiber design, which I assume it's probably not a real carbon fiber. You also get a cool little display that reads the telemetry from the game and rev lights indicator, together with more than 20 buttons that for a change do not feel cheap at all, and it's amazing because you can bind almost whatever you want to them. And especially the rotation buttons are really fun to use. It feels like you're controlling a jet, but in reality you're just turning on the headlights of the car. From all the wheels I own throughout now, this one has the best pedal shifters, and this really means a lot to me, because I hate the cheap clapped out shifters. They react immediately with almost zero delay, the feeling of the shifts is exactly as in the real car, and although they are pretty small, I never miss the shift with them. One of the things that annoys me a bit are the base flanges that attach the wheel to the desk. They stick out quite a lot, so you scrape your legs against them occasionally. Of course, this only applies if you have a wheel set up on a desk, like I do, but it would be cool if they designed them a little different. When I started playing with the CAMMUS C5, it took me some time to get used to it, because as I said, coming from a Logitech wheel that is a gear-driven wheel, it's a completely different world. But once you get used to it, you definitely become a better driver, because it's so much quicker, it's like you would be playing on a low latency monitor, it feels like a cheat code. And I decided to try it out in Assetto Corsa, because such a wheel also needs a game that can provide an accurate real-life experience, and together you really get something that can be called a driving simulator. Even the cars that you're driving inside an Assetto Corsa now act like real-life cars. For example, I quickly realized how dangerous is the C63 AMG with traction control turned off. I felt like the car is trying to kill me, but at the same time I was more confident than ever because I knew that the wheel has my back and it will provide me the exact amount of force feedback I need to catch the car quickly to not crash it. I even enjoyed more driving in first person because I felt so connected with the car thanks to the wheel. Sadly, I couldn't try out the drifting as much as I would like to, and with the proper drift cars because I was missing a shifter and the pedals with a clutch. And now here comes the terrible part of the CAMMUS C5. But it's not the wheel itself, it's the CP5 pedals that come with the C5 bundle that you can get for 330 bucks. Just pedals separately cost 80 bucks. And let's start with the pedal sensitivity, which is really weird. Sometimes it just feels like you're playing with a keyboard because the throttle dead zone is enormous, only a last half of a pedal range reads the values. The first half of the pedal feels completely dead and I have done the recalibration but it did not help much. Same goes for the brake pedal, and when I disassembled the pedals I realized why the readings of the pedals are so bad. The design of how the pedals work is really cheap. You get a magnet on each of the pedal's axles, and when you press the pedal, the magnet will move up and the Hall effect sensor will read the value. And not to mention that sometimes this magnet will come off and the sensor will read incorrect values and you will have to fix it by disassembling the pedals. So the low resolution and the dead zone makes these pedals almost unusable. Therefore, I was literally struggling trying to do some drifts because you can't get the amount of gas you want to thanks to the pedals. And also the pedal spring will start to squeal crazy after using them for an hour, which will drive you nuts. So I strongly recommend you to use some kind of a different pedals, for example Logitech pedals, which you can connect through the adapter to your CAMMUS wheel, and then you can also connect the Logitech shifter to the wheel as well. But okay, let's forget about the pedals. I understand that it wasn't their priority, they were merely focusing on delivering a great direct drive wheel that is affordable to almost anyone, so you don't need to pay crazy amount of money to be able to experience a direct drive wheel. And I honestly won't be going back to the Logitech wheel after I tried the CAMMUS C5. Another huge advantage over a gear-driven Logitech wheel is how much quieter is the wheel. With the Logitech wheel you could literally hear grinding of the gears, where here you practically don't hear anything. So for anyone considering buying this wheel after this video, I will have a link with discount code down in the description, so we'll get the wheel even cheaper. It's honestly one of the best wheels on the market you can get currently, especially considering it's a direct drive wheel. And it's perfect for someone who hasn't yet been able to experience this kind of a wheel to get your hands on what might be the best wheel out there for the money. One of the possible drawbacks if you're considering getting a CAMMUS C5 is that it operates exclusively on the PC hardware. It's not compatible with any Xbox or PlayStation systems. CAMMUS also has a desktop app, which you need to download and install the latest version drivers through the app. The app is really user-friendly, you can change different wheel parameters to get it set as you like. You can also use other people's presets based on the game you're playing. There are also other cool options such as hands-off protection that is meant to be turned off when drifting to let the wheel spin itself when you let your hand off the wheel. And also the CAMMUS C5 supports almost all the recent and most popular racing games out there. So this will conclude my CAMMUS C5 review. I was more than surprised how good this wheel is, and I can't believe that you can get it for just 250 bucks. As I mentioned, I will leave a discount link with a discount code down in the description below, so if you decide to buy it off this link. And with all that said, I will end the video here. If you enjoyed it, drop the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and as always, have a great day and I will see you in the next one.